How many little squares?
All right, girls, so explain to me what you're working on.
We are doing the checkerboard thing, but
All right, what does the checkerboard problem ask? For somebody who's watching this video, can you explain what this problem is about?
you have to. While watching a couple of students play checkers one day, I wondered just how many squares are on the board. I thought, and thought, and came up with a number greater than 200. Is that possible? Your test is to find out exactly how many squares are on that board. Be creative and thoughtful about your mathematics. Show all of your work, explain all of your thinking, and identify all strategies used to solve this problem.
Okay, so what have y'all done so far?
Well, I didn't understand this one, so
I already did this one, and I need help with filling with the pool.
I was going to do filling with the pool
Let's
and
look at the
disappearing
checkerboard.
cookie.
What'd you do with this one so far?
We was like, like separating between, like, that's one box.
So what is this?
Here's two boxes.
What is
That's
this?
each of those is that's red and that's black. The one with the R is red. So if you take 2 rows of reds and blacks, that will equal
So-
1.
Is this a model of your checkerboard?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing you did was you drew a model. Okay.
Then we did red, black, until we got all the way right here.
Okay.
And then next, what we did, we counted all the little squares. Then we put, because there's 99 in this kind of square. Then we counted the outside, which is 100. And we was trying to count the little things, but it's kind of confusing with me.
No, what she
Okay.
was trying to understand was like there's one red, one black, one red, one black. Those equals one box.
Can we stop for 1 second? I think you did a great job drawing your model. Here's where I think you need to go back and revisit your picture. On a real checkerboard, it's only 8 squares across and 8 squares up. So what
That's
you
why
need
we're
to
gonna have
do,
an uneven, odd
what
number.
you need to do is you need to take this row down here and just kind of color it in. And then if you have 2, 4, 6,
Give me
8,
whiteout.
color in those. No, I don't have any whiteout, baby. I'm sorry. Okay, but you could color in to make it 8 by 8.
I don't see the tissue.
Okay, and then go from there.
So the rest
That's
of
what
the
we-
squares that are left, we can just...
That's why we're gonna have
Color them in.
Like what I did was I did that equals 1 square, and then those 2 equals 1 square, 1, 2 equals 1 square. And I was gonna have. Now I have 1 extra square left, and so I was saying, why don't we take, since there's gonna be 1 extra square left in each row, just take that row and that equal 1 box, that one, that equal 1 box, that one.
No,
You can do
it
that.
has to be an actual square. Not how many could I combine to make a square, but it has to actually make a square. Okay.
So that's how.
All right. Now remember, go back and talk about where your thinking was messed up and include that as part of your answer because that helps explain where your thinking is right. Okay?
Hello, this is Leah Snell. The purpose of this training video is to provide an overview for all stakeholders on the assessments of numeracy at the elementary level and all other standards-based assessments of mathematics. So I'm sure you're wondering, where exactly does this all fit in? Well, the numeracy, number sense, and strategy development concepts are essentially the core of a successful mathematics program that promotes critical thinking and understanding on the behalf of students. And the remaining standards support those number sense standards in each grade level. So it is essential that in classrooms, mathematics classrooms, particularly under the Common Core State Standards, that all teachers focus on strategy development with numeracy and number sense understanding. The essential focus of this training video is on assessment. And it's important to note that effective instruction is only effective when instructors or teachers use effective assessment practices to inform classroom decisions, and then ultimately continuously analyze data to ensure that the best instructional decisions are being made for students. I've had the opportunity to read a number of books on assessment, and by far my favorite assessment book is a book titled Constructive Assessment in Mathematics by David Clark, and it's published by Key Curriculum Press. And Clark, in this book, states that assessment is simply a conversation between the student and the teacher. And it is so critical in a classroom for a teacher to cultivate an environment where that conversation can take place and is a natural part of the classroom culture. And there are two types of assessments, one that's considered obtrusive and one that's considered unobtrusive. So in this training video, we'll talk about both of those types of assessments and their appropriate place in a mathematics lesson. In a standards-based classroom, effective student-centered assessment practices are ultimately the crux or the core of increased student learning. And the goal for all students is mastery of the content standards, the performance standards. In a mathematics classroom, assessment is organic. Also, assessment is a natural part of the classroom environment. Assessment is ongoing throughout a lesson and throughout multiple lessons and throughout the classroom environment as a whole when students are learning mathematics concepts. And as stated in previous slides, there are two types of assessment according to Marzano, and those two types of assessments are obtrusive and unobtrusive. And according to class keys and teacher keys, there are three types of assessments in a balanced assessment system. Our goal in every mathematics classroom is to have a systematic, seamless, balanced assessment program in each class for students to ensure that they understand the content. So the three types of assessments, according to class keys and teacher keys, are diagnostic assessment, formative assessment, and summative assessment. And there are a number of assessment practices and assessments that are already in place for teachers to utilize in order to collect data for these three different categories of assessment. Currently, for diagnostic assessment, we have an assessment of numeracy standards, which is the gloss and I can. We also have the grasp assessment, which is used specifically as an RTI screener only. Also, under the category of formative, we have the assessment of numeracy standards, which is also gloss and I can. Gloss and I can is considered to be an unobtrusive assessment because it is provided as an opportunity to naturally assess where students are throughout the course of a lesson. Also, there are performance-based assessments that are based on specific content and standards for mathematical practice and or process standards. And those are more obtrusive, but also in some cases could be unobtrusive. But they ultimately can be used to collect formative assessment data and information for students. Also, common formative assessments that are currently being developed at the school level and at the teacher level are used to collect formative information about where students are and how they're making progress towards mastering standards. We also have the standards-based report card, which is used as a formative progress report tool. Also, there's ongoing frequent formative classroom assessments that are developed by our highly skilled, competent experts in the classroom. In terms of summative assessments, we have culminating performance tasks that teachers are encouraged to use that are part of the Georgia Department of Education framework. We have end-of-unit assessments that are also a part of those same frameworks and that are utilized in the classroom to ensure that students are mastering standards. We have the standards-based report card and promotion, placement, and retention rubric. And then we also have final assessments of numeracy, which is, again, gloss and I can, and the CRCT. Now, there are a lot of discussions about the different types of assessments and where they fit in and how they actually help to build a solid mathematics program and to give information to teachers relative to where students are with respect to the performance standards students are learning. And so overall, as we progress through the slides, hopefully this will provide an opportunity to paint a picture of how all of the pieces fit together. As with everything, there is an appropriate time and place. So over the next few slides, I'll provide for you information on when particular types of assessment are appropriate to measure specific standards or specific concepts that students are learning under the Common Core State Standards